Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Let's go ahead and make sure you all can hear me. If you please type the number 1 in the chat box, let me know that you can. I would appreciate it. Morning, Helen. Afternoon, Kevin. Afternoon, John. All right. Thank you, everybody. Very much appreciated. As we do get started, keep in mind that everything we look at is for education. Nothing's meant to be advice or recommendations. If you find something you like, anything, make sure it fits your own personal risk profile and risk tolerance. All right. So lots of happenings this week. What do we got going on? We got the check-in for Inner Circle coming up on the 9th. The monthly is on the 26th. Mastermind tomorrow night at 8 p.m. on the 10th. And then Trade Watch Alerts Q&A is coming up September 12th. That's still this week. Yeah. And then Trading News next week. Power Hour Trading Coaches Playbook are on their regular schedule. Hey, Al. Good to have you here. Welcome from Phoenix. We just had family here. My wife's cousins were in for my daughter's wedding. Love Phoenix. Wanted to move there many years ago. My wife wouldn't go. She wanted more green. Power Hour Trading Coaches Playbook on the regular schedule. Hidden Gems of the Chart. Do not miss out on that, guys. Tony's going to do a phenomenal job. I've seen the presentation of what he's going to teach on. Don't miss it. Check it out. Coming up this week, Covered Call Explorer E-mini Think Tanker on regular schedule. Power option plays should be. The procedure I was supposed to have done last week on my knee got canceled just as they were getting ready to fill me with anesthesia. The surgeon's wife went into labor and he left. So no other surgeon could do it because they weren't approved with my insurance company, and it would have been a $30,000 bill. So we're waiting until tomorrow. I should be fine to do. I'm doing pop this evening, and then I should be fine to do it on Thursday. But it's on a tentatively yes schedule for this week. Here's our followers page. Make sure you follow along to various platforms out there, guys. You can find us under all these headers right here. We try to keep it as best we can to wealthbuildershq.com, of course. All right, here's our Trading Boss Manifesto. You can download this on our website on tradinglikeaboss.com. You can download it on robertjroy.com as well. And then save your seat. Yeah, you're really going to be impressed with how Tony talks about patterns and setting your charts up and so forth. So make sure you get registered for that. Could you drop a link? I'm not sure who's the admin here with me today, but could you drop a link in there? Lisa, drop a link in there for Tony's class if you would. Oh, I don't want to put that up there yet. All right. What trades did you all do today? Drop them in. I want to see. What did you do? Let's see what trades you got coming up for over the last day or so. Doesn't have to be today. Did something Thursday, Friday. Drop them on in, and let's see how everybody did. I'm going to share 3 with you from today. Summertime's over, baby. It's time to get back into business. All right, so AMD. There you go. Trader Will said best of the day was Roku at $253. Nice. All right. John said Wheel of Fortune, Nvidia, Naked Put, Saba, cash flow of $1,000. Very good. Good job there, John. John, I mean, the numbers you put up every week, if you're averaging that, you know, and many of your numbers are higher than 1,000. That's over 50 grand a year just on your cash flow strategy. So that is fantastic. Scalper Ed said SPX vertical spread for $400 on Friday. Nice. I love it. Oh, I don't have my camera on, do I? Well, hell, I took a shower, combed my hair and everything. I should put it on. Hey, Donald, took in $800 on SPY and QQQ on Friday puts. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, so we, you know, Friday was kind of a gimme, right? It fell apart. You couldn't miss with anything bearish on Friday. Friday was a killer day. So congrats to everybody. Good job. Again, we consider all of these to be non-funded trades. It doesn't matter if they were funded or non-funded. What's important is they're putting in the trade and hitting enter. So getting back into a theme here, and you're going to see me talk about this more and more over the next couple of weeks and months. I want to look at some cash flow stuff. So on AMD, did a bear call spread on AMD today. It's a weekly spread. I am way way out of the money. I am up here out of the money. That's how far I am, just in case of that little bounce in there. I'm way out. We got 8.75% on that spread there. So that was awesome. Right. So we'll take it. Amazon, I am kind of splitting this level here. We're at the 180, 182 and a halves. And I got 16.25%. So not bad on another bear call spread. And then on Lilly, we're looking at the 9.29.25. So I'm really up here near the moving averages, kind of above the 21, below the 8, or at the 8. It's right. It's actually right at the 8 and 21. Right. And we picked up 25% on that. So just to put that in context, let me grab. All right. So we said it was 8.75% and 16.25% and 25%. So you can't just say you made 50%. It doesn't work that way. We did it over 3 trades. So we divided by not 9, but by 3. So it's a 16.66666. Let's call it 16.5%. Right? It's 16.5% on average for the trades today. Well, why is this important? Right? Okay, but Rob, some of them, I bet you got small dollar amounts. Don't worry about dollar amount. If I got 8.75%, I got 8.75%. Realize on one trade for 1 week, if I'm right, I make more than I make about what the average S&P 500 does for the year. So don't look at 8.75% and say, hey, oh, it's AMD, it's small. You got $1 increments in there. Yeah, okay, maybe. But you could always put more money into the trade. It's still 8.75%. Why is this important? We're going to just say this is 16%, right? Let's make it 17. We're closer to 17. So let's say it's 17%. Let's say that you got a car payment to make every single month and your car payment is $500. Well, if you got a $500 car payment to make and you're making 16%, what do you need to generate what do you need to use or to put into the account to generate enough money to make $500? Well, if you had $1,000 and you made 16% on it, you made $160. So it's really not enough, right? So if you did $3,000 times 16%, you got $480, right? So you need a little bit over $3,000 to be able to generate about $500 to make a car payment or a boat payment or a jet ski payment. You're going to start looking at payments a lot different after this, right? Well, what if you look at this and said, this $500, that's your car payment for what? Is it your car payment for the week? No, it's your car payment for the month, right? Well, that $480 is in a week, right? So now if we divide $500 by 3, you need $125 a week. Now, if I put $1,000 in times 10%, that's $100. Okay, so I can't do it $1,000 if I'm generating 10% on a credit spread. I need, I don't know, if it was $1,500 times 10%, it's $150. That's $600 a month. So you need less than $1,500 a week to be able to put into these trades to generate this kind of money, right? And this is I call it the killing the goose that laid the golden egg, right? You don't ever want to kill the goose that lays the golden egg, right? I'm having these conversations with my children right now. Ironically, we would spend a lot of time together with the wedding. My daughter's wedding just happened last weekend. And we spent a lot of time, a couple of days before, even the day after, we were out to lunch together, the day after the wedding, all of us. So we've had these conversations of assets. My oldest will probably buy her home first. We talked about putting money down on a house and other ways to do it. There's 2 or 3 different wealth strategies that her and I, along with her husband now, are going to work on towards helping them. What do we do for our house? Excuse me. Where we can keep that goose and not kill it, because it's the goose that continues to lay the golden eggs, right? So it's how do we keep our asset and not blow it and go ahead and start generating potential returns like this, right? So but for me today, 16%, not, and again, everything's non-funded, right? But 16%, I've talked about this before, guys. My truck payment for my truck, was for 2020. We're on our last year of payments. And yes, I did do payments. I will put as little down as I have to. Well, okay. I put down as much as they allowed me to. How about that? Because they let me put it down on American Express. So I got the points towards Delta, which got me up to the next level of status and crown room, first class, all that good stuff. So I'll gladly take it. Everything else, instead of paying it all, we put it on loan, right? We took a loan for it. Now it was 0%. Happened. We did it right before COVID. I bought this in the end of 2019 to 2020. And so we got 0% interest on the vehicle. We're paying it off. And if I could just generate $600 a month, how does that work? Well, look what we're talking about. With $1,500, if I can generate 10% on a credit spread a week, now we're looking at there's on only $1,500, there's enough to not have to give up that goose. And so at the end of the term, if I had a $30,000 loan that I took out, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was $30,000 loan that I took out on the vehicle. I still had that 30 grand at the end of the term. I did not lose it. I didn't pay it to somebody else and so forth, right? I didn't lose it. So I still have those monies. So good job, everybody, on the trade setups that you did. That's fantastic. I love seeing it. But we're going to talk about this a little bit more in a few minutes when we get into today's topic. But there's really some mindset things that have to change, that have to take place in order for you and or anybody, for all of us, to be successful pretty much in anything we want to do in life, right? And it doesn't matter what it is. How many times has anybody here ever told themselves or has ever said to themselves, yeah, I can't do that. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not fast enough. I'm not handsome enough, pretty enough, whatever it is. And I don't even know what it was. Has anybody besides me ever said, I'm not going to be able to do something? I mean, I've said it many times in my life. I'm not good enough to do that, right? A lot of this really comes down to what's up here, right? What's called the 6 inches of gray matter between your two ears, right? Is where a lot of this comes down to, right? There we go. Many times, just today. Too many times. Yeah, me too, right? It's very easy to do that. When my oldest daughter was born back in 1994, my wife, of course, held her first, right? And then when my wife finally reluctantly let her go so I could hold her now, I leaned over and kissed her and told her two things. Number one, I told her that I loved her. First thing I said to her, first word she heard out of my mouth. Second one was that she was put on this earth to rule nations, right? I do not believe anybody was put here for mediocrity. I think we put ourselves there in many situations. And I understand stuff happens to people, right? I get that. Stuff has happened to me my whole life, right? I'm fully aware of that. But it's a matter of how you respond to that, right? And both of my kids have done extremely well for themselves, as far as fiance/husband for the older one now. The other one, fiance. So it's a fiance and husband, I guess. But they've done very well for themselves, right? They understand savings, they understand money, they understand how it works, what to do with it, and so forth. So, and neither one of them, it's funny, I started their first bank account. So I went to the bank with them, made them sit down at the bank and open the account up with them. I had them sign the paper for it, although it didn't matter because they weren't legal to sign the paper. But the vice president of the bank, who I know personally, put the show on for them that they were opening their accounts up. And of course, my name is on the account. Well, when they turn 18, those accounts are theirs. There's nothing that's mine. And every one of them, they still have every account they have that's in their name still has my name on it. And I tell them, listen, it's your money. If you want to take my name off, no, leave it there. Leave it there. I'm still the one they come to for financial advice and so forth, right? So they've done well because we've never told them that they can't do something, that they can't be successful at something ever. The exact opposite of it, right? It doesn't matter what it is. They can't come to me with anything that I would tell them they can't do it, that they can't be successful at it. If they want to do it, they can. They just have to want it. And that's with all of us. There you go. I love it, Will. I love it. I love it. Trader Will said, I just got Frankie a debit card and we review the spreadsheet weekly. He saves his money for online games. He's 8 years old, guys. 8 years old. Goodness gracious. Harv T. Ecker. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think I'm correct in the book. Somebody can check it for me. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Right? Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Right? Yeah. T. Harv Eker. Yeah. Secrets of the Millionaire Mind is, I think, is the name of the book. Phenomenal book. We put a jar system together. My kids earned money off of chores. They got to save money. If they didn't earn enough that week, they had to take money out of their wallet to put in to pay their bills. What was their bills? Their give, their long-term savings, their retirement. Those bills had to be paid every week, no matter what. Right? And they learned from that. They had to read Rich Dad Poor Dad when they graduated 8th grade and went into high school. They read that book, and then they started working for me in this office on this other computer system, doing books for one of my businesses. They hated it. Hated it. I paid them $5 an hour. They hated it. Just, they could not stand it that they had to do it. And I made them do it until they were both 18, until they went to college. So the year they graduated high school, they got to stop working for me, right? And they got paid, right? And they understood what it was to work for somebody. And that's exactly why I did it. This is what it's going to be for you if you want to work for somebody for the rest of your life. Yeah, the jar system, exactly. Well, yep. So I think we had 5 jars. I think we had a give jar, which was 10%. We had a play jar, which was 10%. Whatever you're going to give, you should have for play as well. So we had a play jar for 10%. We had 2 long-term savings jars and 1 retirement jar. That's what we had for them. Right. And I still have the plastic. I gotta see if I can find them. I still have the plastic containers. I probably tore the labels off. And they're in my workshop downstairs. Who those are good containers, right? They store stuff. I still have the containers that they use for it. And they learned from that type of system money. And here's the thing: it's a mindset thing. We sat around our dinner table and talked about money every single day. No electronics were allowed to be there. When they finally got phones, no cell phones were allowed at the table. None of that stuff. We talked money. If I had a meeting going on, my accountant was a personal friend of ours at the time. But he would come over, right? Because we have multiple businesses. He'd come here. We would do taxes here. We'd do quarterly reviews here. I would have, if the kids were around, they sat in the meetings with us. My children knew how much we made, everything. They knew everything about our businesses, everything about our finances. I didn't hold things back from them. And you may feel that that's unnecessary, and that's fine. You do what you feel is best for you. But there are plenty of groups out there, ethnic groups, that talk money regularly, right? As a Christian, that wasn't what we, no, money's bad. Ooh, no, we don't talk. No, we talk about it. Always. Constantly. I actually drove them nuts with it. Couple of kudos there for you, Will, with Frankie. That's great. You got it, Deborah. Brenda said 7.9% on SPY today. Nice. Yep. For the Ford. If you think you can, you think you can't, you're right. You got it. Always. Always. Brenda, I needed that like you. Thank you. I feel so depleted right now and had no business trading Friday or today. Oh, yeah. Don't do it if you don't feel right. Yeah. Okay. So from a market standpoint, guys, and we're going to hit this a little bit on our topic today, but from a market standpoint, mindset becomes a very big part of what you need to do. But this type of an idea of don't give up the asset. Don't blow the asset. If you've got 10 grand, 20 grand, you want to buy something, don't blow the asset. Can you work out a plan effectively that you can go ahead and build out a systematic approach that says, if I do this, I have enough to cover that? And you've got to take into account if you have some trades go against you and so forth, of course. Okay. Without a doubt. All right. So let's go look at the S&P 500 and see what the hell is going on there. So Friday was a massive day, down 100 points on the S&P 500, just crush, kill, destroy. It was just brutal, freaking brutal. Today we're back up again, and right now we're at 5472.8695. Oh, we just got over the 5473 level and we pulled back a little bit, right? That brown line is 5473. We've got a black line up above in the 6,000s. We've got a black line below in the 4,000s. And those are major Fibonacci levels. This brown line right here, very thick brown line, 5473, is the midpoint between those two major Fib lines, those two major Fib levels that are out there. And we came down and we stretched out to it on Thursday. Friday, we opened up flat. We ran up. Traders were looking good. But guys, we ran right into that moving average, the confluence of moving averages there, and we just got decimated. The 55 moving average, which is also brown, is hidden behind this brown 54.73 line. We just flawed right through it. Gap up today, up to the next fib line, the 382, and then we pushed right into the 54.73, and we're just hanging there right now. If we look back, right, our all-time high is right here. So not that long ago, we were at all-time highs. We had this failure come in. We moved back up and we pulled back, right? So now here's the question. Here's the magic question. Where does it stop? Where is enough before we bounce from there? So after this big move down, we got nearly 100% move back up again. And if let's see if I can get this here. All right. If we look at this high, so we take the blue line, right? And which is the 0 line. We look over here, the gap down that happened here, gap from closing price up here, down here. So we did not quite fill that gap, but I would say we got pretty darn close by moving back up to where we did, right? But now we've got this move up and then this pullback here. The question is, are we going to pull back to a standardized area of 50, a 618 and bounce, or are we going to collapse from there? I don't have the answer. That's just it. I do not approach trading with, I know it's going to do this. I don't do that. I approach trading with where it's sitting right now, this is what I am looking at, right? If I were looking today at this when we gapped up, and just on the open, not now, I'm saying earlier today, my analysis would be more of, I'd love to see the failure of the 54.48 level, because the move up runs me into the 54.73, and now I'm stuck. This is the obstacle course with crap on the road, right? You got a hurricane in your area and there's a down tree. You got to go around it. Oh, there's electrical wires hanging down. Oh, look at all the garbage cans in the road and the garbage, right? I got to move that stuff out of the way. I can't drive over it, right? It's a hassle to drive. This is a hassle of a drive from one fib line to the next. I got the 54.73. I have the 55 moving average. Right now, my moving averages are just down below my next fib line. There's just stuff in the way that makes it an annoyance, a hassle. So preferably it would have been to the downside. Now, if we close right where we are tonight, if we close right at that 54.73-ish level, then I'm back here, right, in position 1 in the chair. And saying, okay, what do I see it doing next? Right, a move to the upside would be the better choice for me. Didn't stop my drawing tools. Would be the better choice for me. Give me a sec for those to start up. Why? What would make that a better choice? Well, if you think about it, to the downside, I've got this 382 in the way. So it's really close, really tight. I'd have to wait for the move down. Instead, if I get the move up, I think I'll like it a little bit better. Watch. Oh, let me get rid of the crosshair. Move up, pull back, bounce, right? Look for that 236 as our target. To the downside, I could do it, but I'm very limited. It's a really short road to that next level. Don't get me wrong, 50 to 73, 75, it's about 25 points down. So, okay, there's movement, the potential there, but not a lot. I'd rather go 54.73 to 55.25, right, at 50 points than a 25-point move. So I'm really not interested in the downside here unless we break through the next fib level, retest, and fail. Okay, but I'm not excited about that being a one-day move. I'd rather that take 2 or 3 days to get down there. So if we look at a bigger picture, let's go look at weekly. All right. Last week, decimated. I mean, we got our head handed to us in the market last week, right? Down 240 points, 239.98 for the week, right? Crazy town. Let me go back here. Hold on. Let's go back to the daily chart. Let's edit this. I don't want this showing up on my weekly and monthly chart. This is a newer fib for us. It says show for all SPX and all charts in all windows. No, I just want it on this window here. That's it. So now we'll go back to the weekly, and I don't have that messy little Fibonacci hanging out there. That's the new fib for the daily. Again, right back at the 5473. We are in a bullish neutral bias right now. So overall pattern still got bullish tendencies to it on the shorter time frame. If we look at the monthly chart, everything is still bullish. Yeah, we're down this month, 174 points, right? Recovery last month was big, right? We opened up, okay, we ran all the way down, came back, recovered, closed higher. Still, again, not to the highest high, but we're there, okay? So what are we looking at on the S&P 500 then? If we do get the move down, I need the break of the 54.48 and 53.85 is my target. If we move up, we're looking at 55.25-ish, right? With a nice confluence of the 8 and the 21 there. If we break above that, let's see, 525 to 650 is 125. I don't need a fib there. If we break above that, we're looking at 56.51 is the next upside target, right? It filled the August 12th gap. So let's see, Brandon, what is it? Here. August 14th. Yeah, this gap got filled, and all of these little ones filled. We just didn't get all the way up to the highest one. We just ran a little shy of that. And I was surprised. If I were a betting man, which I'm not, I'm the guy that goes to Atlantic City or Vegas, and it takes me an hour to put $10 in quarters into a machine. I just hate the thought of losing the money. That's just not me. But if I were a betting man, I would have expected we were going to at least hit the all-time high, a little bit above it, and then fall back from there. But I wasn't expecting anything higher. Not after the run we had like this. But if this does become our bottom, folks, and that's really where the biggest key takeaway is here today. If this becomes our bottom, we go into an A, B, C pattern, right? So we're looking for our 236 on the ABC is at 55.28. We're looking to get above the 55.28 before we can really be bullish. We can't be bullish anyway until we get above the 8 and 21. So we're right about in the same ballpark, right? You saw the 56.51 level, but then you've got the 57.31 and 59.35 up here, right? Those are the extension levels, and those are based on this. From A to B was here. That's 100% of the move. Whatever it was, $1, $1,000 doesn't make a difference. A to B is 100% of the move. B to C is the pullback, PB, pullback. And then C to D, D is going to be the one line. That's the equivalent 100% move or duplication of this line. So if this was, to make it easy, if this was 500 points, this line here will be 500 points. If we were to get up to that level. It's the stacking method that I talk about so dearly. All right, but that's where I see us going to next if we hold. Okay. If we hold and bounce, if that's our very bottom, then that's where I would see us going up to next, right? As far as top side goes. VIX, fear, that spike really messes us up, truly messes us up. We get rid of that spike. Ooh, yeah, okay, now it looks more normal. But we're in the moderate, medium range right now on VIX. We've been there for 5 days, right? We can't break back down below the yellow line. If you are a directional trader, you're not really that upset by it. I mean, a seller, you're not that upset by it. A directional trader, you're looking at it as, all right, it's costing me a little more money for my options at this point, right? Yeah, Jennifer, that's exactly what that would be. That would be the H pattern, right? So if we move up, pull back to the 50 and reverse from there, that's the upside down H. Yes, exactly. Exactamundo. And Brenda, just to kind of go back to your point of I need a dad like you. I didn't have a dad like me. My dad was very absentee very early on in life. Just learning to become a man was a very interesting process for me without that fatherly figure around. He got much more involved in my life later in life, but early on, my parents divorced and we didn't see him. It was very distant for us. So a lot of this was just me saying, how do I go and figure this stuff out? Because I can't do it. And realistically, in my business career, I'd done okay. I had started my own business right out of high school, did well, sold it, went into manufacturing, did very well in manufacturing, got to a fairly high level without a college degree. So $80+ million international company. Did well in my business career, but I was making six figures and we were spending 20% more than we made. Right. I had no clue about money and how to use it and save it and so forth. Right. Not until I found the market did I actually learn any of that, any of it at all. I mean, come on, when the conversation on your daughter's part, well, it's not really a party bus. It was a party bus, but they didn't have limos. They just had a bus. So after we went to take pictures, we met the groom and the groomsman there. That was the first look right before they got married. And then all the guys got on the bus with us. Well, my son-in-law is becoming he's in CRNA school, so it's an anesthetist, nurse anesthetist, right? Multiple people on the bus with us were already nurse anesthetists, right? Really good money in the position, in the job. And the conversation on the bus was asset protection. That was what the conversation was. One of the guys had said to me, Mr. Roy, I understand that you do some of this, and this. And as we're talking, someone said, boy, did it take you a long time to learn this? I said, yeah. Who taught it to you? Was there a class you took? I said, no, it wasn't a class. It was talking to individuals that are better than me, have more money than me, have been doing it longer than me. And every one of them were older than I am. But I'm not that guy I'm only going to hang out with people that were in my 30s when I was 30. I'm hanging out with guys that are in their 60s, 70s, and 80s because they've already done it. Right. And if they haven't done it, then I know that's what I don't want to do. Right. Yeah, I agree, Erica. My stepfather taught me the importance of saving, paying tithes, 10%, great credit, etc. early on. Great nuggets. Yeah, Trader Wilson. I've learned a ton on 70+ guys on the Vail ski lifts. Yeah. First class on Delta for me, in the Sky Club for me. I mean, there is a world of opportunity of who you could talk to. Here, favorite phrase for me. My kids know it well. Half the world's waiting for the other half to say hello first. Just say hi. If they don't want to be bothered, they don't listen. There are times I'm on a plane, I can't be bothered. I'm working on something, I just can't, right? Sorry, I'm just appreciate it, but not. Hi, but I can't talk. Other times I'll talk, and especially if there's an interest in there, what the person does or did or knows, and good conversation. Absolutely. All right. Perfect. So let me go and grab presentation one more time. The number one thing to do right now to get serious with your trading, and I know this was a long title. My team doesn't like these. They want 3 and 4 word titles. They don't want any of this stuff with 12 words in it. But I couldn't figure out a quicker way, a shorter way of saying it. Right? Number one thing to do right now to get serious with your trading. And let me grab a notepad. Way to go. All right. So I just put the title on the top there. So some are going to be excited about this. Some are going to be like, again, yeah. All right. And if I had to break it down into one word, just one word, it's a 4-letter word. So it could be good or bad, right? It's a 4-letter word, and it's plan. Right. And I'm talking from a whole host of ways you're going to create this plan. There is not just a singular point that it happens from. And here's what I mean. Well, I'll give you an example this way. So if you have at minimum a generic trading plan. What's a generic trading plan? It's not systems based. It's, I've got my brokerage account, where are my brokerage accounts set up? How much is in my account? How much am I trading with? So I got $10,000 on my account. I'm going to trade with 3. That's the most I'm ever going to put in the market is 3, right? So there's a question to be answered. Okay. What types of trades do you do? What's your risk profile? Reward risk ratio do you focus on? All of that. That's what I would call a generic plan, right? And then you've got your strategies, your systems. Covered calls is a strategy. The way you trade it is a system, right? So in October, I don't remember, it's the 17th or 18th, I forget. It's a Friday. We're doing a Trader Super Summit live. Well, I'll be doing it live from home, but it will be a full day event for our inner circle and our mastermind group. Because of the procedures, this is my 3rd time back in the hospital in 7 days. Tuesday of last week, Thursday of last week, Tuesday tomorrow. So this is my 3rd time back in the hospital for this knee procedure. Because of this knee procedure I have to have. And they said it's not a normal tear. They think we're going to have some issues with getting it back to 100%. So I don't know where we're going to be. So the thought of standing in front of a room and having everybody make commitments of getting on planes and all of that, I couldn't do it. So we're doing this one only online this year. But there are 2 major things we're going to handle when we get in there. Well, there's actually 4 major topics for that full day. But there are 2 big things we're going to do in there. One is we're going to go through a trading plan, and we're doing it with AI. And the second one is we've built out, and guys, I just got it. I haven't tested it yet. Inner Circle, you might be seeing this shortly, the first rendition of it. But we just got a strategy creation system builder done for directional trades, right? So where you're going to be able to plug your data in there, your data, not what Rob trades, not how Rob trades, your data. And it's going to spit out for you the strategy creation system completely done for you for that strategy. So now you have everything in there that you need. You're going to still tweak it. That's a first brush at it, right? And if you're in Inner Circle, it's probably not your first brush, it's your 20th brush of it, right? But it's going to be something that is AI driven, trained on how I trade and how I teach and the techniques that I use and the risk rewards and all of that stuff is going to be built into it. It's going to be a lot of fun, though. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Right? We'll get everybody on Face Chat while we're in there. If you want, everybody gets on Face, just like we do in the Inner Circles. Everybody can talk. You don't have to do it on text chat. But you talk plan, there really is just that. There is the general plan, and we'll just call it the overall plan. And then there is the system plan that you need. All right. So, but think of this for a second. When I talk about the number one thing you need to do right now to be serious, to get serious in your trading, right? If you don't have it documented, if you turn around to McDonald's and say, I start a franchise with you, thank you, I paid my money, but I don't want your manual because I'm going to make some changes to the secret sauce, right? Yeah, no, you're not, right? This is how it works. This is how it's done. You do it like this. If you think there's something we could change, you submit a form for that, and we'll let you know if we want to make it change to all McDonald's, not just to yours, right? And so forth. Excuse me. So part of this plan has to consist of things that are mindset related. Has to. And if you have Trading You, right? If you have access to Trading You with us, then go into Trading You and look at some of the mindset components of what's inside of there. Right? And I don't remember the exact name that I called it now because I did it in like October of last year. But let's see, Trading You. So here's mindset, mental preparedness, right? Mental preparedness, whatever the hell you want to call it. Mental preparedness, right? That one right there, it's under an hour. in my opinion, it is probably one of the best trainings on anything that I've ever done in my life. Right? That was brand new, taught just for used just for trading. And I already had gone over this in Mastermind. I had already gone over this in Inner Circle before ever introducing it here. Okay, here meaning trading you, right? But mindset, when you look at this from a subset standpoint, right? You've got things like mindset that needs to be inside of it, right? You can't approach. You should not. I shouldn't say you can't. You should not approach something so important as your family's financial future with a flippin' off the cuff. I'm just going to do it, by the seat of my pants. Very well can be done, yes, and I've seen traders attempt it. I've not seen a lot of them be successful with it, right? But if I've got a plan systematically of what I do over and over again, right? Another subset of this is your options selection. One of the first things I say every time in Monster Market Movers every single month is go ahead and print out the options process selection system. Right? It is a starting point. It's not a definitive. You're going to have to tweak it for you and your trading style. But I want you to create a checklist. Now, you can do it on paper, put a check on it, and then throw it away when you're done. Or you can laminate it, get a grease pencil, write on it with a grease pencil, and wipe it off with a tissue or a napkin when you're done. I don't care how you do it, right? But it should be, to me, the best way I did this was it was on my desk, pen in hand. I didn't know about grease pencils and lamination back then. I don't know if we had staples or not, but probably. But I would literally go down a checklist and put, okay, open interest greater than 100, check. Right? Delta 65 to 85, check. That check. Oh, that one doesn't work. We can stop. We don't have to go any further. Because if the plane doesn't have a wheel on it, it's missing a wheel, we don't have to go any further. We don't need to worry about, does the door close? We ain't closing it. There's no wheel. We're okay. Excuse me. So you need to build this systematic approach out of how you're going to attack things inside of your own plan. And I know it is daunting. I know it's a lot of work. I know it is very much the hair pulling out stuff, which is why we're working on trying to get this into to AI, right? But then if you are the person that says, all right, so I want to do a covered call, or I want to do a spread, or I want, whatever it is, okay? If you come over to the members page, go over to trading resources, right? Covered calls, naked puts, call diagonals, call put spreads. All of these are calculators that are pre-created for you, right? If I did a covered call, and I know for me, my goal on a covered call is 3 to 5%. ABC, it really doesn't matter what the symbol is there. We don't check any of that. The stock price is 33.75. Short option details. We're going to sell this Friday with a strike price of the 35. We're going to get 50 cents for that. Well, that shows me. So I filled in. You got to put the date in. It just picks today's, but I could change the entry date. Okay. So I put in ABC, the symbol, the price of the stock, the expiration date, the strike price, and how much I received. Okay. And it did all the math for me. And there's a legend down here below. So my cost base is 33.25. One time, right now, I'm going to get 1.48%. It's 5.93 for the month, 6 days till expiration. Exit details. If we were exercised in 1 week, we make $1.75, which is 5.26%, right? If exercised in a month, we'd make 3.25 at 10.24%. And the legend down here is what I used in Covered Call Explorer, the one that Tripp still uses today, as far as rates of return, what we're looking for. Right. So, I mean, it works extremely well. Right. So if I get this now and it wasn't green, well, I didn't get 50 cents, but I got 0.05 cents there. Oh, I put 2 decimals. Doesn't know how to handle that. So it's 0.59% rate of return for the month. I know this trade doesn't work for me, right? This is a resource that's available. So if covered calls are your thing, this is a resource. If diagonal spreads are your thing, bullish or bearish, it's a resource. We haven't yet built out the ones for credit spreads. They will be coming out with something I'm working on towards the end of this year, right? So we'll get those done and they'll get published up there as well. But it's a resource, right? Directional is, we could do a directional one, Brenda. It's just, it's kind of very straightforward. There's really not much to put in there, right? You could put a target in there and use delta without, I'm probably not going to do gamma calculations because it'll cause too much, because I'd have to do delta, gamma, vega, implied volatility, historical volatility, whatever. I'd have to put volatility into the model to do a very accurate. If we just did it off delta, $2 move, 70-cent delta, $1.40, bid-ask spread, take that away, it's $1.20. We could probably do something like that, Brenda. But it's always this is where the hard ones come in, right? Figuring out what your option's worth and so forth. Actually, who was I? I had just done a one-on-one with somebody a few months back. And one of the things we did was we built one out in a spreadsheet in 15 minutes for her, where I built it out. We had all the details inside of it because she was a directional trader. We had all the details inside of there for it. But yeah, we could probably do something directional as well. Okay, good. So it really just comes down to the number one thing you could do to get serious is document it down, right? And you need to also track your trades, right? Again, subsets, right? Subsets. In other words, there's additional things you've got to consider. It's not as simple as, oh, you need a plan. I would never be as, I don't know, Weisenheimer, I don't know the right word for it, to just say, oh, just have a plan and you'll be successful. It doesn't work that way, right? You're going to write it out, and you're going to test it, and then you're going to do it again, right? And you're going to write it out, and you're going to test it, you're going to do it again. You're going to change it, you're going to test it, you're going to rewrite it again. And you just keep doing it over and over and over again until you get something that's working for you, right? And that really is, I mean, I do that all the time. I change trade setups constantly. I make small little tweaks to them. If you look in power option plays, I don't have it open right now, but if you look in power option plays, I have 4 pages of rules that we work off of, and they're all in table format, just because 3 of them in a table. 1 of them are everything else, every rule that can't really go in a table, right? It stocks under 100, between 100 and 1,000, over 1,000. That's a table, right? Trading times of the day, that doesn't need a table. It just needs to be written on a line. So I have 1 page of just a few bullet points, and the other 3 pages are all tables. And I've actually documented when a rule was implemented. So we know when that was done. Oh, this was back in 2021. Or we just put this in now, right? So it's kind of a change log. We do that with POP as well, with power option plays, where if we change a symbol out, we document when we changed it out and who we changed it out for with a date. So we know how long we've been looking at this company and so forth, right? And hey, we took Apple off. Apple may become a good candidate at some point in the future. I don't believe so, but maybe. But I'll know when I took it off, and we'll go back and look at what were the reasons for it. All right. So let's go back into our charts. We've got a few minutes left. What candidates do you guys want me to take a look at? Drop them in. Let me go grab all symbols here. All right, SPY and Qs. Let's go look there first, Paula. It's very familiar to the S&P. All right. So we are right now sitting in a bearish neutral bias rank of 3. Upside, I'm not interested at all right now. It's got to get above the 552 on the upside. For the downside, I want it below the 544. Come back, retest, and fail. 538 is my target. Okay. As far as Qs go, got a little oop, there. All right. So as far as Qs, I've got a fairly open road up to my next resistance. So if we can get a retest and a bounce, market looks bullish, I'd be interested to the upside. I like the downside better. So on the upside, 463.5 is resistance. On the downside, 442.25 is support, right? So we stretched up, didn't quite close above the 764, but really nice move there. So I hope that helps, Paula. Let's see. We've got Erica's asking for AMD. Sorry. So AMD, I like much better to the downside. This is one of the credit spreads from today. I definitely like it better to the downside. 129.5 is our target to the downside. This moves about $6.50 a day. 660, whatever. 6.5 is close enough. $6.50 a day. So overall, I mean, I like it a lot. As far as, I mean, it's $135 stock that moves $6 a day plus. So, I mean, that's great movement for it. It reminds me of Roku way back when. Do you remember? Right, type thing. So I like AMD to the downside, Erica, but I'm not a fan to the upside because of the 8 moving average. Right, as far as Nvidia goes, and if you guys have other candidates you want me to look at, drop them in. Let's go back and get this. All right. So I was surprised Friday did not hit 100. I truly was. I thought for sure we are going to go and tap that 100. We did not. I still would not be surprised to see it happen again. My biggest concern on this is we had a high, a lower high, and then a lower high. Right? We got a low. We have a low. Now, if this becomes our new low, if we bounce from here, that sets us up more for the wedge pattern. Excuse me, than it does for a trend down. So, but to the downside, $100. To the upside, 111. I like the 111. I think it's very doable. Dividend, I don't know if the dividend is accurate. What it's showing here, it's a penny. Sure it was the last time as well, penny. Not sure on dividend, but I don't. If it's a penny, it's not going to really have that much effect on it as overall. There is a lot of looking at Nvidia going on. Of are they a monopoly? They have such a high percentage of the chips. Should they get broken up? Don't you just? I just love government intervention in big business. I get price fixing and all that stuff. I'm all for that not happening, but even some of the conversations on the presidential trail right now talking about limiting how much businesses can make and their tax bracket being based on what their profit was, and charging more money if they made a higher percentage of profits, and if they make too much and we got to split them up into different companies. Wait a second. When Zuckerberg, although I'm not a fan of when he started Facebook, right? He didn't do this to say, hopefully I get so big one day they break me apart. He put all his own money, his own work, blood, sweat, and tears into it, and the likes. And then for the government to step in and say, you're too big, so we're going to take part of it away from you now. I don't know. I think companies run best when the government doesn't control it, right? And through all of this debacle with the government bailouts and the government actually taking ownership, being given guarantors of shares and having say in what was done to take our money, totally disagree. It's the equivalent of saying you should really listen to your professor at Wharton Business School on what to do in business, since half of the professors at Wharton Business School have never owned a business. Makes sense to me. You would think you'd hire business people, not teachers, right? I love Mr. Miyagi's style of teaching. right? Wax on, wax off. I'm a big fan there. uh, yeah, I know. Go figure, Erica. Go figure. Um, so down to 100, up to 111. Hope that helps, Erica. Jennifer's asking for a Vago. There was interesting news on them the other day, or Broadcom AVGO. Whew. Whew. There's the interesting news. Just take a minute for today. Okay. So we're back. So talk about an H, right? Whoa. Actually, yeah. Well, it was due to 764, but do we need anything down here? 28 to 40, 12. No, we're good. Okay. So it looks like 129 is the downside target. Upside is 147, which is only 8 points. That's fine. Either one works. I would just be a little leery on this after the that big gap down. I mean, we closed here at 153, we'll call it, and we opened here at 140, a $10 move. Closed 137 from 53. So tremendous move. And remember, they did their 10 for 1 back on July 15th, right? So not good at all. So be very careful. I would want this to pass a little bit with their earnings announcement and all that. That's Jennifer, and Jennifer's also asking for Costco. All right, big fan of Costco. Big fan of Costco. Not just their stores, but as a business. We got back up into a bullish bias today. Downside targets are tough because we're at the 8 moving averages, 887. Upside, we're banging into that 897, 900, but 914 is our next upside target. And we had a recent swing high of 919 or so. So you got a little more wiggle room above that 914, but I would be careful. I probably wouldn't chase that last $4 on a $900 stock. Downside, you've got that 876 half. I'm just not a fan of it because you still got the moving average of 887 in there. So I hope that helps, Jennifer. Trader Will's asking for IBM. All right. I love the bounce on it, Will. Yeah, fib is still good. I love the bounce on it very much. Let's see, how did it look intraday? Oh yeah, Will, did you trade this one today, Will? That move up, that retest and close and the bounce, that's signature. I mean, that move couldn't be any clearer than right there. So hopefully you got got to take advantage of that one today. I'd want to see a pullback again if I'm looking at it now. It's moved too much for me. Great confluence, but right now it's at a rank of 3. I need it at that 1 or 2. Yeah, so we're chasing after several others. I get it. Can't watch them all the time. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. 207 half is resistance. Roman, how you doing, my friend? Let's see. All right. Tesla, also ugly on Friday. 231 down to 212, 211. So 20-point move to the downside. It was 19 in jingle. But about 20 points down. Ironically, we're in a bullish bias right now with a rank of 2. So I'd love to see us get above the 219.21 retest and bound. 231 half is resistance. 230-ish would be my target on it, Roman. So, I mean, I like it a lot, a whole lot. And then Paula asked for Apple. All right, we're in a neutral bias right now on Apple. I'd be a little bit cautious on this. What do we got here? 20 to 29 is 9 points. I don't need a fib in there. I wish I did, because that would help. Yeah, goodness. I like it to the downside, Paul. I'm not a fan to the upside. The moving averages are in the way, but I'd be okay to the downside towards that 212 level. All right. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it. So there's a couple links that Lisa dropped in today, particularly the one for Tony's upcoming class. Go ahead and click on that. Get registered for it. If you missed the link, just go over to tradinglikeaboss.com. It will, whatever's the newest upcoming training will be right here. Hidden gems of the chart. It'll be right in the middle. Right. And then you got, of course, Power Hour and Training Coaches Playbook. While you're there, just get them all done. All right, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. God bless. And I will see you all at our next update.